kind of want it for myself. Just carrying that around with you. I am in our house. Quite cool. I've never knitted a cardigan before. I'm going to have to do maths. What is that? I'm filming myself, darling. Hello, good morning, welcome. I'm going to go straight into it by telling you a story. And I know what you're thinking, who is this lady and why is she telling me a story? Well, if you are a fiber artist of any kind, you might enjoy hearing about how my husband completely exposed my affinity for not finishing projects. So I was just sitting, minding my own business, starting a new project, and my husband happened to walk in the room and he said, "Oh, starting a new project?" And I said, "Yeah, well, the cardigan that I'm working on, which is the Celestia cardigan, I've lost all motivation for two reasons. One, because it's a cardigan, it's not in the round, which means I have to purl every second row, and it is the bane of my existence. I hate it so much. And two, because it's summer and I feel like when I finish this I'm not really going to be able to wear it, and so I've kind of lost motivation to make it. I have this white cotton yarn. I really want to make this vest, which I'll pop up somewhere. I spent a good time trying to find a vest that I knew I wanted to make, and yeah, I'm ready for a new project." And he says, "Well, how far away, like, is your cardigan anywhere near being done?" And I was like, "Well, no, I'm still on the yoke." And he goes, "Well, surely now would be the time to do it because it takes you so long that it will be finished by the time winter comes." And initially I was like, "What do you know?" And then as I thought about it, I was like, he is so incredibly right. He is so incredibly right. So I am setting myself a challenge to finish that cardigan. I am currently working on this crochet project which has a deadline on it, which I'll tell you about in a second, and then after that I'm going to finish that cardigan, and I'm using you to hold me accountable. I haven't made a vlog in a very long time. It's been a very busy life recently, and I do find that I tend to knit and crochet and craft a lot more when I am vlogging because I almost have this accountability buddy. So you're gonna be my buddy. So once I finish this guy, I will be starting that cardigan, and then I can do the vest. That will be my reward.
It's like a reward.
So what I'm working on at the moment is just a little bag for my gran, my beautiful gran, and I would like it to be, oh, I have it right here. So I went to Farnham Unraveled in the beginning of the year, and this creator, is it gonna unblur focus? Unblur focus. No, okay. I'll pop a video up. I've got a new phone and I haven't quite figured out how to use the filming bits yet. But this creator had a whole table of project accessories, and as soon as I saw a Japanese knot bag, I knew I had to get it. And it is made by me, lovingly by Gail, and my angel mom's name is Gail. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, right, well, that's it, I'm getting it. And actually this bag has been the most used thing I have ever bought. Okay, maybe not ever, but most recently. It's the most used knitting accessory or fiber art accessory or anything to do with crafts that I've ever bought. I absolutely love it. And actually I find it so comfortable to walk around with it like this. And so I thought my gran might like one because it's A, adorable, B, so functional, and what more can you want? So I am making her, I'm crocheting her one. I did want to knit it, but I found this wonderful t-shirt yarn. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how to focus on this thing because I don't think I know how. I found this wonderful t-shirt yarn at a garden center, but it uses like a 12mm crochet hook, and I wasn't about to go knitting with big needles like that. I think my hands would just fall off. So I have crocheted it. I started out in the round and then worked up to make like a basket type thing. I wanted it to be able to stand up on its own because that one kind of lies flat. And I have done the little strap that will go like so, like so. And I'm now working on the big strap, which I actually had to unravel because I didn't realize that the little strap is actually narrower than the thick strap, which makes sense because it needs to do that. So I did a lot of the big strap yesterday, but then had to unravel it to sort of account for that problem. However, this yarn is so thick, I think I unraveled maybe 10 minutes worth of work. It's not very time consuming. So I'm going to do my finish. I'm going to do my best to finish this, and then we are going to get started on that cardigan. One, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning. It is the next day. I haven't done anything since yesterday morning. So I have the this is what happens when you try and do stuff in your car. I haven't done any more crocheting since I left the car for work yesterday morning. Car time tends to be crochet time. It's quiet, nobody bothers me, nobody needs me. So I have the strap, so you've got the wide bit of the strap, then the long thin bit, and I'm now going to do the increases, and then that will be that strap done, and I will need to then attach it to the other side of the basket. I am now starting to doubt whether this particular, the short strap, is long enough. It looks a wee bit short, so I may need to extend that, but that's all right. That's not a big deal. While I'm doing this, I thought I would first of all check the time so I'm not late for work. Okay, I thought I would tell you about the book I'm reading. I'm actually listening to it on audiobook, which I do count as reading, and if you don't, then that's okay, but I do. And I'm reading, wait, let me just check, what do I have to do? I have to increase to 4. I'm reading The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I was really optimistic going into it because it comes highly recommended by a lot of people who particularly like Gothic literature. And I loved Frankenstein. Well, actually, that's a story for another day. I'm not entirely sure if I did love Frankenstein, but I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it, if that makes any sense. And I absolutely love the way that Oscar Wilde writes. I love his writing. I think it's beautiful and poetic. I'm just not entirely sure if I'm enjoying the story or the entire thing. I think the premise of it is really clever, really clever, but yeah, and I do also think there's a lot of unnecessary waffling. I think I skipped an entire chapter because it was sort of the between bit of Dorian Gray as a youngster and then sort of growing up, and I just skipped it. I just went on and on and on. I think I'm about an hour and a half to the end, and it's the story's picked up for sure, but at the same time I'm just like, I might give his plays a try and see if they're any better. I've only ever seen the movie The Importance of Being Earnest, but I do wonder if his plays are any better because I love the way he writes. I absolutely love it. I just, this one's not vibing with me. I do, however, have this weird take, and if you know the story and you know the characters well, please comment below and tell me if you agree or if I'm being silly. But Henry, from the first page, Henry gave me Chuck Bass vibes, and I was like, you're a Chuck Bass. And Basil Hallward gives me Dan Humphrey season 1, and Dorian Gray is Jenny Humphrey before and then after as well, actually. Yeah, that's my weird take on Dorian Gray. Anyway, I will finish it because I'm very close, but unless something just drastically changes in the next hour and a half of the book, I'm not sure that I'm going to give it the highest rating. I'll have to think about it because I do think as a book itself it's great. I just don't think it was for me. And I always find those books the hardest to rate because I'm looking at it personally, subjectively and objectively, but we shall see. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I need to go into work now. So that was a very short crochet session, but hopefully I'll see you soon. It is, I think, the next day. I genuinely can't remember if I crocheted yesterday or not, but I don't want to say I'm done because I'm not done, but I'm just about there. So I've got the bag, which looks great, and if you pull the long strap through, it definitely does its job and it's well cute. I just think that perhaps, although actually now I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, do I need to make that other strap a little bit longer? I'm wondering if it will help the shape of the bag at all. My idea was to have a Japanese knot bag that can stand on its own, stand up essentially, so that when you open it you don't sort of have to dig as much as you would usually, because I think it would make a great project bag and I kind of want it for myself. But I'm wondering if I make the short strap a little bit longer, if that will help a bit more with that. So I might try that out, see how we go. But I've got to go into work now, so that will probably be a tomorrow thing. I'm done! Mind all the ends that need to be weaved in, so I'm not fully done, but I'm done with the construction. I ended up making the short strap much longer and then I pulled it through, but it left quite a big gap, so I took a few rows away and reattached it, and I think that it looks amazing. It looks pretty darn cute. I'm so happy. So if you think of that, just carrying that around with you, and imagine doing it in like a really, I did this color because actually it was between this and white when I found this t-shirt yarn in the garden center, and I thought white would be a bit unpractical, but imagine doing it in like a soft, like a pale pink or a lilac or baby blue, and even adding like flowers on. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so excited. I think I'm going to write a pattern for this, because I think I'm this is the thing something I've made that I think most proud of. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I am just over the moon. I'm over the moon. I will get better photos and videos and weave in the ends and then send it off to go to my gran, and I hope she loves it. The only way I can describe to you how I'm feeling right now is this scene.
It's hot, real hot.
Okay, so now that you know how hot I am, it is July something. It has been 2 weeks since I've spoken to the camera. However, I have knitted every day for the past 2 weeks. I've only done about 20, no, that's a lie. Okay, out of the past 14 days, I've knitted a minimum of 11, possibly 12, maybe 13. I've only done about 20 minutes each day, basically while in the car waiting for work to start, because I always get there early. So I've made progress, but nowhere near that amounts to being anywhere near finished. However, I am in our house. We have a house. It's very exciting. We got the keys on Tuesday, officially moving in tomorrow, so I have just been bringing little bits over, but also I've come to vacuum, clean, so that there's one less thing to do and everything's not too overwhelming. So I am cleaning in 32-degree heat. But I am very fortunate and very happy to say that this house is not that hot. It's quite, touch wood, it's quite cool. It's quite cool. It's quite cool. I'm just sitting, trying to just sort of cool down just ever so slightly before I get started on cleaning again. And also just enjoying the silence and the peace, because at the moment this house is empty, and tomorrow myself and my husband and a lot of my very kind family members will be moving everything in here. So it's going to be busy and hectic and loud, and there's going to be stuff everywhere, and I'm just sitting here and just enjoying the space and the quietness, and it's quite lovely. I've had my true crime on all day in my ears, and I've just been going at it and just trying my best to ignore the heat. However, I thought I'd give you an update before things do ramp up and get extremely busy. I was thinking when I was heading back over that this might not have been the best time to decide to try and finish this cardigan. I've not spoken to the camera in a long time, can you tell? This might not be the best time to finish this cardigan, but I never put a deadline on it. I just said I had to finish it. So we're just going to keep going. I may knit every day for 10 minutes. I may not knit at all. We shall see. However, I have gotten to the point in the cardigan where the lovely designer has said to now just knit back and forth in stockinette until I reach a desired length for the armholes. But as you can see, my needles are quite bunched up. So I'm just going to pop them on a little stitch wire thing that I got myself a long time ago. Very exciting. And see if I can see. I highly doubt it's anywhere near the length it needs to be, but let's have a look together, shall we? Here we are. There she is. Wow, she looks so much bigger now that I've like stretched her out. Not too shabby. Yeah, I'm definitely nowhere near to the armholes being, although I don't even know, am I? I don't know. I've never knitted a cardigan before. How do you know when you're ready to split? I don't know. Don't think I am. I don't think I'm anywhere near to splitting for the arms. No. Anyway, so that is my progress. So I think that's pretty darn good progress considering. I'm filming myself, darling. I nearly said welcome, but we're in the middle of a vlog. It's been a few days. We have now officially been in our house for 3 days, which is just so incredibly exciting. We are so happy and just feel so lucky and blessed. It's been quite a few years in the making, and there have been a lot of obstacles and hurdles along the way, and we are just feeling very thankful and very, very happy to be here. It has been a busy past 3 days as a result of moving, so I've only really managed to knit for about 20 minutes, which I'm still very happy about. Anyway, as I mentioned, I'm at the point where I need to do stockinette until I'm ready to make the armholes, and I realized that I need to actually check the stitch count, that it matches with the pattern, that if I'm off along the way I can adjust as I go. Because it's stockinette, I can easily add a stitch here or take a stitch away. But I wasn't just off, I was in another universe. So I will pop up the differences over here. Let me just move to the side. I am aware that my place looks chaotic, to say the least, because we are still unpacking, so do forgive us. So for for the back part of the raglan construction, I was meant to have 101 stitches. I have 88. For the shoulders, I was meant to have 59, but I have 63 on one and 62 on the other. And for the front, I was meant to have 50 each, and I have 42 on one and 43 on the other. Couldn't tell you. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix this. I initially thought, well, maybe I just put my stitch markers in the wrong place and I still have the correct total amount of stitches. I don't. I'm about 30 stitches off, so I need to actually add. I must have skipped a good few rows of increases, even though I counted. I made sure that I was taking notes on my notes app every time I did an increase row, but I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm glad I checked. Usually I wouldn't bother. I say usually, I've never knitted a cardigan or a jumper or anything that you can wear before, but I've crocheted a lot of things, and usually I don't worry about it because you're just creating the length of the jumper. It doesn't really matter. But there are eyelets in this pattern, and I suspect if I don't meet the correct stitch count, the eyelets will be wonky, to say the least. So I'm going to have to do some maths and figure out how to fix this. Wish me luck. Good morning. If I look like a sickly Victorian child, it's because I just woke up and I've got a bit of a cold. But I need to show you the monstrosity that is my cardigan at this current moment. So essentially, somewhere down the line, my raglan increases just decided to go on a walk to South Wales and didn't tell me about it. And I'm not entirely sure. The annoying thing is that it's only on the left side of the cardigan. So the two left raglan increases have just gone a bit wonky, whereas the two right are perfectly fine. So just in case you're not a knitter, essentially you can see this row of stitches here that sort of stands out from the rest needs to be in line with each other all the way till the end. And what I've been doing is I will knit to this point, make a new stitch that leans left for an increase, knit this stitch in the middle as normal, and then make a new stitch that leans right for an increase. And as a result, this middle stitch that you just knit normally or purl normally should stand out and should be in the same place every time, except if you look here, what is that? What is that? I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, there, couldn't tell you. That's where I think where I knitted what I should have purled. I'm not entirely sure what to do. So I haven't touched this cardigan for a good few days. And a part of me thought, well, just ignore it, carry on fixing the amount of stitches you have, and you'll just chalk it up to it being your first knit and you not knowing any better. But then the other part of me thinks, well, will you wear it if all you can think about are the mistakes? You know, like I'm all for carrying on if you find a knit where you accidentally purled and a small hole, whatever, that's not really noticeable. And I don't think this would be noticeable to the average person, but to a knitter it would, and to me it would. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to unravel until the point where this chaos began, and that's it's about 12 to 15, I'm not entirely sure, rows, so that's not too bad, that's not awful, and it might give me the opportunity to fix the other mistake with all the stitches, although I doubt. Editing Michelle here. I was just about to explain what I'm doing here, but the video cut out for some reason. Anyway, I am doing the trick where you feed your knitting needle through the first loop of every stitch in the row that you want to frog to. To make things easier, I actually frogged all the way up until about 2 rows before the row I wanted first, so that I didn't have too much fabric to deal with, and then I went in and feeded and fed the needle through the first loop of every stitch. It's obviously very time consuming to do this, but at the same time I think it's a lot less stressful than frogging and then trying to put your knitting needles back through the live stitches without dropping them. And as you can see, it works a treat. It has been quite some time, maybe 5-6 days. I've just not been wanting to film this because I'm embarrassed. But essentially, I need to frog this. Once I frogged back to the point and got everything sorted, I realized that I was meant to start the eyelet pattern for the cardigan already, which I hadn't. And I then kept reading the pattern, and all I can describe is this. Then I realized, hang on, I don't have anywhere near enough yarn. I have 8 skeins of drops Nord, but I'm holding it double, so I only have 4 skeins for an entire cardigan, which is just not enough. And the thing is that I'm not a fan of this color. When I ordered it, I thought it was a lot deeper and richer in color, and it is a nice jeansy color, but it's quite dull, and really it would look nice with some cabling or some texture, but I'm clearly not there yet. And I just don't want to order more of a yarn that I don't really like. So I did a lot of thinking, and I'm going to frog this. I'm going to order more drops Nord, but in colors that I actually like, and make a striped version of the step-by-step sweater by Florence Miller, which in hindsight is the pattern that I should have chosen as a beginner who's never knitted a wearable before. And reading the Celestia cardigan pattern, when I picked it, okay, let me take you through my thought process when I picked it. Essentially, I wanted a cardigan that was the same shape as the Celestica. Why can I not talk? That was the same shape as the Celestia cardigan. Construction wise, shape, fitting, style, all that stuff. A lot of the cardigans that were the shape that I was looking for were really intricate until I came across this one, and I saw the little eyelets and I thought, well, I know what that is. That's a yarn over and then a SSK and all that stuff. I can do that. But I don't think I really thought about what goes into a knitting pattern and making a cardigan. It's one thing to do, you know, make little eyelets in something small, but in something like this where everything, all the stitch counts and everything have to be perfect, I think it was just too big a stretch for me. And at the time I didn't pick it up thinking that's a complicated pattern, but I'm sure I can do it. I picked it up thinking that looks simple enough, maybe I can do it, because I didn't have the knowledge and the skills to know that actually it's not very simple. It will be to somebody who's been knitting for a long time and has the experience, but it's not to me. So, big lesson learned. It's been, I'm pretty sure, maybe about 5 months in the making, and I'm now going to frog it. But it's a big lesson learned, and it's not something that I've spent hours on every day, as you've seen, mostly like 20 minutes a day. So it's not a huge heartbreak, it's not a huge loss. I'm very excited about knitting the step-by-step sweater by Florence, but I need to order more yarn and I need to do a gauge swatch and all those wonderful things. So I'm going to end the vlog here, and please do come back if you would like to see me begin the step-by-step sweater. I'm very excited to start it. I think it's going to be much more my speed, and because of all the videos and the amount of people who've made this pattern, I think there's going to be a lot of help on the internet if I need it. However, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Unblur focus. Let's do cardigan patting. Cool. It's quite cool. It's quite cool. I'm excited to try and finish this cardigan. Cool. Celestica. Why can I not talk?